How myth functions as a speech act. First, myth is a message, a form of signification. It needs special conditions in order to be myth. Myth is a type of speech chosen by history. It can't evolve from the nature of things. Speech, in this sense, is a message, and myth cannot be defined by its object or material, as long as it means something. Myth falls under semiology and is a second-order system. There are two semiological systems. The first-order system is the linguistic system, or as Barth calls it, the language object. The second-order system is the myth system, and Barth calls that the meta-language. The myth system grows from and staggers from the first linguistic system. They are related through the last term of the first system and the first term of the second system. The first semiological system, the linguistic system. Barth calls this system the language object because it is the language that myth gets a hold of in order to build its own system. Any semiology assumes a relation between two terms, the signifier and the signified. The associative total between the first two terms is the sign. So you have the signifier, signified, and the sign. Barth assigns new terms to these terms because of the relation between the linguistic and myth system. The signifier can be seen as the final term of the first system or the first term of the second system. So now the signifier in the first system or the last term in the first system becomes the meaning. Second semiological system, the myth system. Barth calls this system the meta-language because it is a second language, where one speaks about the first. Again, you have the signifier, signified, and sign. And the relation between the two systems also brings up new terminology for this set. So now you have, for the signifier, the first term of the myth system is now the form. The signified is now the concept, and the sign is now the signification. The signified is now termed the concept in both systems since there is no ambiguity. The signifier now becomes the meaning in the first system and the form in the second system because there is ambiguity between the two. So they differ because form is ambiguous. Form and concept differ because form is ambiguous and concept has no ambiguity. So form needs two terms for both systems, and concept is the same term for both systems. They are codependent because when meaning becomes form, it empties itself. But meaning does not die or disappear. Form feeds off it and uses it as an instantaneous reserve of history. So So to recap, meaning is the last term in the first system. Form is the first term in the second system. And concept is the signified in both systems, since there is no ambiguity. And the sign becomes signification in the second system. Neologism. Neologism is defined as a new word or phrase or an existing word used in a new sense. And mythical concepts can come and go, and need neologism to name concepts in order to decipher myths. Neologisms are completely artificial, and they resist the myth process by making them obvious or deciphering them. That's why Barth was attracted to them. Now the image I have chosen to analyze is a cool ad found in an old GQ magazine. Barth used a Paris Match magazine that he was reading while at a barbershop, and which had a young Negro boy saluting a French young Negro boy, looking up and saluting, and he went into his first and second order system and analyzing it. For the cool ad, the meaning is the whole thing. So the meaning is the guy with the cigarettes that gets the girl's attention. The signifier is the cigarettes, and the signified is you get the girl's attention. So, and then also there are many forms and few concepts. So cigarettes could be substituted for other objects that would also signify the same thing. There's some more stuff about myth. So myth gets to and corrupts everything, even if you try not to give into it. Like contemporary poetry try to resist myth by being an anti-language, but that just makes it fall more easily to myth. Resisting it fails. The only way to stop it is to mythify the myth itself and produce an artificial myth. There's only one language that is not mythical. Language of a man as a producer. When man speaks in order to transform reality and no longer preserve it as an image. And almost all language is political. Revolutionary language can be mythical, announces itself openly and thereby abolishes myth. It's like the opposite of the bourgeoisie.